The NCAA is investigating whether Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel was paid for signing hundreds of autographs on photos and sports memorabilia. According to ESPN, the Texas A&M quarterback agreed to sign memorabilia in exchange on more than one occasion, apparently, for a flat fee of several $1,000s, and was even photographed during one of the signing sessions. Manziel has been practicing with the Aggies, and his lawyer said that he expects, quote, Johnny football to be playing when the season starts. Texas A&M University has also lawyered up. If proven, Manziel could be suspended from playing and could possibly have to return his Heisman Trophy. Arise News sports contributor Andrew Rosario is with us to give us some fresh light on this very interesting situation. Andrew, it's always good to see you.
Great, so how are you?
Hey, so if these allegations are proven true, and given that there's a picture of it now, it's kind of hard to believe that it would be proven untrue. What are the possible consequences?
Well, they could suspend him for a couple of games. They could suspend him for the whole season, depending on what they find. They're looking for a paper trail right now. They're going into his bank accounts. They're going to his parents' bank accounts to see if there's been an elevated amount of money put in those accounts as a result of him signing for all the memorabilia that he was signing.
And if they do find him then guilty of signing memorabilia for a fee, which is in clear violation of this particular section, I can't remember the number of it, the 12.5.2.1 NCAA by law, does that automatically mean he has to give up his Heisman Trophy?
More than likely he would have to give up the Heisman Trophy, exactly, because again, it's in direct violation of what the NCAA says you can and cannot do.
Does this put the university at any exposure? Let's say that it takes him a little while to make this determination and he plays for the school. Does that make the school or the football program there exposed in any way?
I don't really think so, because it's an individual thing. The school didn't sanction him to go out and sign those, helmets, jerseys. He basically did this on his own. He had brokers approach him. Now they're trying to find out if the brokers are giving him a percentage of whatever they're selling the memorabilia for.
Well, how common do you think this practice is? Brokers approaching NCAA or, in other words, student athletes that are in college?
Yeah, it's prevalent. Depending on the type of football player you are, you're a quarterback at a Division I school, very successful, the first freshman to ever win a Heisman Trophy. So yeah, it happens. A lot of college players last year, they were getting tattoos. They were getting money for it, and then they ended up, suffering the penalties.
It just seems nonsensical to me, because surely the brokers know that this is a violation of the rules. And, of course, the value of the autograph is that that player maintains the status that they have.
Exactly.
Why would they even put Manziel or any other athlete at risk?
Well, they're actually sort of supporting Manziel. They're saying, we're not going to talk to the NCAA. We're not going to say anything against him because we like this kid. But, again, his fame, his fortune, I call it the classic helium head syndrome, where all of a sudden you have a guy who, again, wins the Heisman for being a freshman. No other player has ever done that. And all of a sudden he's taking trips across the country. He's, attending NBA finals, sitting courtside. He's shown drinking bottles of champagne from the bottle. So, and his dad even came out and said that, he has anger problems, which makes him drink, and that he's basically a train wreck waiting to happen.
No, that is so discouraging to hear. And it's not the first time an athlete has had to give back a Heisman
That's
Trophy.
Correct.
What do you think is this precedent setting for the future? What does this mean for the future?
I think depending on what they find and the allegations, if there's a paper trail where there is money that's being funded to him because of this, yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that can happen.
In just one moment, we're going to talk to a very big-time coach, but I just wonder what your perspective is. You've been covering sports for years and years and years. Do you think it's time now for student athletes, college players, to get compensated?
I've been saying this for years. The amount of money that these schools are making, Division I sports, is in the billions, television revenue, radio revenues, and none of that money gets back to the students. A lot of them are on scholarship, which takes care of their tuition, but then they have to go out and try to find a job just to make ends meet. It's about time they start getting paid.
Yeah, there is a growing course of that sentiment. Andrew Rosario, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. Well, as I just mentioned, the University of Texas Longhorns are the most profitable college football program in the country, earning $163 million in revenue last year. I didn't just mention that, but this I did. Texas head coach Mack Brown is probably the most prominent coach to say players deserve a cut of that money. I talked to him on Friday about why he feels that way.
Student athletes across the country are working like Olympians now. They work every day of the year. And I just think that it's time, and not just at Texas, across the country that we all look at means to help them. If it's not pay them through cash, maybe we can help them through universities. Maybe we could help them through loans. But maybe we can help their parents by helping them get to some games, or maybe take the seniors' parents to bowl games. But what I'm asking is that the NCAA look at creative ways to try to give back to the student athletes, because very honestly, I had a scholarship when I was in college plus $15 of laundry money, and we've taken the $15 of laundry money per month away. So I just think it's time that we revamp the scholarship. If we want to put more money in the scholarship to give them some opportunities for cash outside of that, then I would be for anything that helps them as we start moving into the college football playoffs, where college football will be making more money than ever before.
You know, so many people that disagree with you say that the athletes are already getting compensated through scholarships, as you just mentioned, as well as room and board, as well as, you know, top-notch coaching, nutrition, counseling, all these other things, and that's the foundation upon which they argue against compensating student athletes. But what would be your suggestion on an appropriate way to compensate an athlete in addition to the scholarship, room and board, all the other things that they get to play for a university?
Well, Debbie, number one, in response to those that think I'm wrong, thank goodness we live in a free country where you can voice your opinion. And my opinion's not only mine, but our athletic director and our president at Texas feel strongly about reaching out to helping the student athletes moving forward. But these are not the thoughts I'm talking about of the University of Texas. They're mine. And I think that's important to state. And like I said, I've been an assistant coach for a long time and a head coach for a long time. And many of those that are voicing their opinions have not watched these student athletes through the years. Secondly, I'm not the one that should be determining exactly how we can help them. I would like to have ideas thrown out. I know the NCAA proposed a $2,000 stipend per year to each of the full scholarship student athletes a couple of years ago, and then that fell through. And I thought that was a good start. Mm-hmm. So what I would like to do is challenge those in a position to come up with options for young people to do it, and give the presidents and give the athletic directors options across the country. One of the reasons that people do not think we should do it is that most of the schools' athletic departments are really struggling financially. My suggestion would be either that we tier the schools, and the ones that could pay for it should be playing in a different league as such than the others. Let conferences decide what level they want to play. Or the third way would be that you simply take some money off the top of all of our college football playoffs and pay the student athletes at all sports across the board.
Sure. We don't have too much time left, and I want to get to a couple other things, but I think it bears to be noted that it is so interesting that some of these opponents to the progressive view of compensating student athletes are millionaire coaches themselves. It seems a little bit duplicitous, if not hypocritical, does it not, for someone who makes so much off of an athletic system to not allow the athletes to share in that wealth?
No, well, that's the way I feel. I feel that I'm very well compensated, probably better than football coaches should be. Our assistant coaches are very well compensated, and I would like to see some help given to the student athletes, because they're the ones that give us so much fun on Saturday afternoons, and they're also the ones that are working so hard to make sure this great game keeps moving forward.
Where do you think the system broke down for Johnny Manziel then?
Debbie, I can't really comment on Johnny Manziel because that's not one of our players, and I don't comment about players from other schools. All I can say is that Johnny had a great year on the football field, and I want to wish him luck.
I just wonder what your level of optimism is about the likelihood that college athletes will get some revenue that they make while playing at universities. Are you optimistic? Because the truth is the world has changed since these stipulations were put into place. Are you optimistic that, the NCAA will change anytime soon?
I really am. And I think what you said is the reason behind it. We've got such a great game. We've progressed with coaches' salaries. We've progressed with assistant coaches' salaries. We've progressed with stadiums and facilities across the country. TV revenue's better than ever. Our game's probably more exciting for people than ever before. And I think we've made so much progress in other areas outside of our student athlete, and we have helped them with nutrition. It is a safer game. The doctors are better. Their facilities for training are so much better. So we've upgraded in all areas except reaching out and helping the student athlete financially. So again, I would challenge the NCAA to take measures to step up and see what we can do to make their life more comfortable as a student athlete.
Again, that was Mack Brown, head football coach of the University of Texas. And you are watching Arise America.